Mark Kikta. I retired as a captain in the United States Navy. I became a flight instructor. My class had some number of, I don't know, 20 people graduating, but they only had 5 open seats in the fleet aircraft. So I chose to stay as a flight instructor in Beeville, Texas for a while. And got a girlfriend and had a good time, and then all of a sudden a skipper called me and said, "Hey, I got a seat open to go fly S3s." Excuse me. And so I said, "Well, I'll take it." And so then I went off from Pensacola to, from Beeville to North Island Naval Air Station, where they had the training squadron for S3A Vikings. And that would have been about 1976, 75, 76. And so we went to San Diego, learned to fly the S3 Viking, and then returned back to the East Coast to VS-32, where I began my career as a naval aviator flying S3s. At the time, we were on the John F. Kennedy, and made several deployments on the John F. Kennedy. I think I did, in that first squadron tour, I did 2 deployments on the Kennedy, and both were to the Mediterranean. In those days, you generally went to sea for 10 days, and then you pulled into port for 3 to 5 days. So we pulled into a lot of ports, and I was really excited to see places like Palma de Mallorca, Barcelona, Rota. And then we went into France, into Cannes, France, and I think we pulled into Naples a dozen times during our deployment. So that was pretty exciting. And then I had my wife even fly over one time in port. We were going to have 10 days in port, so the wives chartered a plane, and a whole bunch of wives came over, and we get to spend a few days together in the middle of a 6-month deployment. So that was a lot of fun. So the mission was basically just peacekeeping and projection of power around the Mediterranean. I called it sort of a Mediterranean love cruise, but that wasn't much of a love cruise. But that's what we did. The second deployment, as I remember it, was much the same thing, although I think we had a lot more time, because that's the deployment that was 10 months long, I believe. 10-month deployment, and we had 3 or 4 days in port in the whole deployment. So that was, while I was in the Med, we looked at a lot of ports from the flight deck, and not so many from in port ourselves. Had a great time. I loved flying off the ship. I loved flying the airplane. It was just a wonderful machine. And then after I finished my 3 years in the squadron flying at VS-32, I went to the training I guess you say organization there at Cecil Field, Florida, called the VS Support Unit.